While the public saw him as a complex quarter of the most acclaimed pop group in history, this gifted musician chose to define himself as merely a simple gardener who planted flowers and patiently watched them grow. George Harrison was born February 25, 1943, in Wavertree, Liverpool, the fourth and youngest child of bus driver Harry Harrison and his wife Louise. Growing up in a modest council house in nearby Speke, young George was a well-behaved, good-natured child who especially loved to play on a giant meteorite outside the Wavertree Baths. There were, however, early glimmers of the man of character and substance he would one day become. During his family's budgeted holidays in pastoral Wales, lodging in sparse stone cottages honed his love of the simplicities of rural life. He once observed, "You could actually live a whole happy life in a place like that." In an exclusive 1983 interview in London, Paul McCartney remembered George's parents.
Harry Harrison and Louise Harrison. Harry was a bus driver who was a great man, lovely man, but forthright, very sort of straightforward. He would run over a dog with his bus rather than swerve, and quite rightly too, probably, because you might kill people. I remember always being a little bit disturbed about that hardness, but he was a good lad, Harry. He was a real nice man, sweetie. And Louise was lovely. She was a quite hard lady, but, you know, soft side, but she was a hard lady. I remember her pouring a pan of water on some fella she didn't want to answer the door to. She'd tell you, Louise.
There were also early buddings of an altruistic, compassionate nature. One time the Harrisons took then 8-year-old George to the cinema, where they saw a homeless man on the street. George insisted on giving the destitute fellow half a crown. Decades later, while leaving a trendy London restaurant with pals Legs Larry Smith and Rolling Stone Bill Wyman, Harrison encountered another down-on-his-luck person and passed along a crisp 50-pound note. It was an act friends said he repeated often and, characteristically, without fanfare. When Harrison turned 13, music roared into his world. When his mother spotted guitar doodlings in a school notebook, she scraped together a few pounds to buy her son a battered second-hand acoustic guitar. Yet unlike many of his virtuoso contemporaries, most notably Eric Clapton, Harrison was no guitar prodigy, but rather listened over and over to popular songs and plugged away diligently to master the chords, often until his fingers bled. His exhaustive labor paid off, and before long he and his brother Pete formed a band called the Rebels, performing skiffle tunes at Speke's British Legion Club. Meanwhile, in 1954, upon enrolling at the Liverpool Institute, George was a largely disinterested student, really excelling only in art. Music now a driving force, the quiet adolescent struck up a friendship with fellow schoolmate Paul McCartney, 1 year ahead of him. As it happened, Paul's fledgling rock group The Quarrymen were looking for a lead guitarist, and McCartney dragged Harrison to an audition with Teddy Boy John Lennon.